Why it always changes with the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. So you're now realizing that the narcissist changes their mind any which way the wind blows, that they're loyal to nobody. The narcissist cares about nobody. The only thing the narcissist cares about is what people do for them, what people provide for them, which could be utility, it could be access, it could be arm candy, it could be money, it could be time, it could be attention, it can be a flight. It can be somebody communicating with the narcissist for 2 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour or 5 hours. The narcissist needs to be regulated. Now, they can't do this on their own. What regulation means, it's not just the rules that you must abide to that were written in the classroom in 6th grade. No, regulating yourself means when things don't go your way, you need to be able to recalibrate and say, yeah, I didn't get that, or I didn't win, or I didn't get the promotion, or somebody cut me off on the freeway, whatever it was. But you need to really focus on yourself and really understand that the world doesn't revolve around you, and that, yeah, sometimes people do what they do. Well, the narcissist can't do that. You see, to the narcissist, this is a theatrical performance of their lifetime, and everybody else on the planet is nothing but an extra. That's what you were. You were an extra. You weren't starring with or co-starring with the leading role with the narcissist, anything but. You were the extra who didn't even have a line in the movie. You were an extra who never even was a part of the script unless the narcissist needed to use you as a prop. I've shared this for so many years in videos. I'll say it again. What is a wedding, or what is getting married to the narcissist? What does it mean? All it is, it's a license to abuse. The wedding ring on the narcissist's finger gives them the ability to blend into the fabric of society, which means that they can act like, yeah, somebody does love them. They do love someone else. They can have kids. But that's just nothing but smoke and mirrors. Everything, and I mean everything, isn't how it appears to be with the narcissist. And it's the same thing with the planet, which is why I've shared this also. You need to remember that everybody reveals themselves in time. Every single person. And when people reveal themselves, it's usually when the chips are down, or when your back's against the wall, or when you were discarded. You see, when you were discarded, was anyone there to help you out and to help you put yourself back together? Of course they weren't. And I've shared this again over time. Some of the people that you thought would be there weren't there because they were toxic. Other people that you thought would be there wouldn't be there because they didn't want to get involved. And other people had their own life that they were dealing with, so they couldn't be there. But any way you look at it, each and every person's life on this planet called Earth, it will go sideways one way or another. And I've experienced that throughout my whole life. Sometimes I didn't get what I wanted, sometimes I did, but I have the ability to regulate myself and realize if I didn't get something, okay, we'll have to work harder, or maybe that wasn't for me. That's not what the narcissist says. What they say is, I need everyone to do what I want, when I want, and how I want. If they don't do it, I will discard them, and I'll get a new person to do what they should have done. Think about what I'm mentioning to you. This is why there's such a thing as the narcissistic fog. This is why there is the narcissistic trauma bond. This is why there is the devaluation stage. This is why the narcissist is trapped in their own cycle. Love bomb, devaluation stage, discard, at times a hoover. But remember, you need to get off the radar of the narcissist and become unhooverable. You should not entertain a hoover. You should not accept a hoover. And the narcissist should have every avenue of communication that once was open to you closed, which means you should be going no contact. If not now, when? And this is why everything changes when you're with the narcissist, because nothing can ever stay the same when you're with these people. It's not simply because the narcissist wanted to get you in a trap and then that was it, and use you and feed off of you for X number of time. That's part of it. The other part is they needed built-in supply, which is what you were. So you would be trapped, stuck, isolated, like a ice cube, frozen. And you would be doing everything that the narcissist didn't want to do themselves. So while you were stuck, frozen, and doing what they wanted you to do, or what they punished you or guilted you into doing, what was the narcissist doing? They were out lathering up new sources of supply. They were looking for your replacements. They were cheating on you, lying to you, stealing from you, hiding money. They were claiming they didn't have cell phone reception when, truth of the matter is, they were probably 1 block away from your house, cheating on you with your best friend. Who knows where they were, what they were doing or where they were, who they were with. But when you weren't with the narcissist, you will never, and I repeat, never know where they were. And when you were with the narcissist, yeah, were they with you physically? Maybe, but mentally they were checked out because they already knew that they had you placed in the trauma bond. All these things I'm sharing, they equal one key ingredient. Everything changes with the narcissist. Wherever you are on the cycle, or were on the cycle, love bomb, euphoric stage, devaluation, ending or discard, hoover. Somewhere in there is where you were at any one moment in time when you were with the narcissist. Now, you didn't know that the narcissist themselves is trapped in a cycle. You had no idea. If you knew that, you would have run for the hills. But again, you weren't formally educated on this, so how could you know? Now that you do, you realize that you were nothing but a bit actor, and you were performing for the narcissist because that's what they were making you do. When they would say jump, you would say how high. And you were doing whatever you could, thinking that they actually cared about you. What they were doing with you is they were mocking you. What they were doing was grimacing at you. What they were doing is smirking at you. What they were doing is counting the seconds till they could discard you. Now, again, you may say you're being a little rough today, Andrew. I'm not. I'm stating cold, hard facts that you won't get anywhere else because I lived in the narcissistic abusive cycle. I existed in it for years, and I found my way out because of myself. You see, all that energy that was going out the window, putting out fires that the narcissists, plural, were creating intentionally, deliberately, and on purpose, when all that energy is harnessed and it goes back into you, that's when you can do whatever you want. Take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book, travel the world, fall in love again, sleep until 12, stay up till 2 a.m. You can do whatever you want, but you can't do that if you're still tethered to the narcissist. And they know that, which is why everything always changes with the narcissist depending upon where you were in the cycle. So let's give you a tough pill to swallow right here. Let's say you're still in the cycle, and I hope you're not. My hope is you're out of it, but let's say you are. And let's say that you know the narcissist is the narcissist and you are getting divorced right now and you're looking to cut the ties and you know what to do and you're doing everything great, but the narcissist isn't playing ball. You may be scratching your head saying, why aren't they playing ball? Well, first of all, it's what they do. Second of all, they want to drag it out as long as possible. Third of all, they're probably love bombing the new supply. But fourth of all, they want to make sure you are still frozen in time. You are still stuck and you can't advance in life. That's why they would be doing what they are doing if that is the case of where you are. I know that because I lived it, and I too was in that boat for quite a period of time. Eventually, what you will realize is the narcissist literally wants to burn you out, to have you give up on life, give up on your hopes, dreams, aspirations, your goals, to have you not believe that tomorrow will be a better day, or to not believe that you will ever heal and put yourself back together. Well, shame on the narcissist, because now they're beginning to realize, and this does go for each and every one of you toxic creatures, the narcissists that is, they're beginning to realize that supply is rarer than it was yesterday. Supply sources are more and more difficult to find than they were 2 weeks ago. And that a true blood, a true blue empath like myself and like you, we are battening down the hatches, closing the chapter of the book on these people, going no contact, implementing, maintaining, and adhering to our boundaries. And we're saying no mas. We want nothing to do with toxicity. And when we do that, we realize that we're doing our part on this planet called Earth to insulate and protect not only ourselves, but our loved and trusted ones if we have those people around us. But none of the healing will take place if you're still connected to the narcissist and you haven't figured out who they are. That is the key part for this video. Now, most of us were in the narcissistic abusive cycle for quite a long period of time. I'm not going to put a time frame on it, but you know how long you were in it. You had no idea. You knew something was off. You knew something was wrong. You knew something was amiss, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. And as soon as you got a little too close to figuring out what the narcissist was doing, or that in fact they are a narcissist, they perhaps would give you a little love bomb or misdirect your attention or tell you something else, because they were doing heat checks on you. They were testing the temperature of you every single day. And as they realized the less you had to give, the more you are catching on to what's going on, or those two things are unique to themselves but interchangeable, and I'll say it a different way. The more the narcissists realized that you didn't have as much to give, the more they had one foot out the door. The more they realized that you were catching on, the more they had one foot out the door. When you realized both those two things, and you were catching on and you didn't have as much resources, they were already out the door, you just didn't know it. Now, I could create a whole series on this concept, this notion of the thumbnail of the video I'm describing today, because it's extremely important, as are all the videos I create. What I want to share with you before I close this video is to let you know that it always changes with the narcissist. There isn't one thing more you could have done. You couldn't have had any more money. You couldn't have turned the clock back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. There's nothing you could have done. The reality is the narcissist did what they did. The reality is you are who you are. The reality is you're out or you're about to get out. And the reality is the narcissist is stuck in that loop, and they're trapping and tricking multiple people right now if they're still breathing air on the planet. And they know that all those people will be in the spot that you were in at one point. And where you want to be is as far away from the narcissist as fast as you possibly can get, which is why I create videos. When you're trapped and you're isolated, you're broken, you're vulnerable, and the narcissist is feeding off of you, that's the last place on the planet you want to be. Where you want to be is in the abundant, peaceful, calm, serenity-like state of mind. And that's what this is. And that's where you will be once you cut the ties with the narcissist. But you need to remember, it wasn't your fault. You had no idea you were being manipulated, groomed, tricked, trapped, blamed, shamed, financially abused, counter-parented instead of co-parented, and on and on and on. The narcissist knew all that. All they were doing was plugging you into the outlet of their life, using you up. And once you didn't have any more fuel or supply or energy, they unplugged you, threw you away in the trash, and they plugged in a new person. Tough pill to swallow, but it's what these creatures do. That's why you need to get the message and get away from these people as fast as you possibly can. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the absolutely beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you're not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. A couple quick things. You may notice I have a couple blemishes or dark spots on my face here. I think there's one here, maybe here somewhere. It's because I just came from the dermatologist, and thank you, dermatologist and team. You know who you are. I appreciate the help you gave me today. Thank you. I will see you again for my checkups and all the other doctors that are helping me out. Thank you. I'm doing great. I'm just letting you know that I'm taking care of myself. You should be taking care of yourself. So understand that this is your journey. It's your life. And there should be no toxicity swarming around you. There should be nobody looking for a handout, nobody blaming you, shaming you, manipulating you, playing the victim card. You deserve better than what the narcissist gave you. And what the narcissist gave you was absolutely nothing but a relationship you needed to heal from. So that's the video. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.